Hi, everyone. My name is Shauna. As you well know, Shauna the Tax Goddess. Today, I am so excited to have another fantastic redheaded guest. Hello. We're in love. The lovely Miss Jessica. She is the founder of the Beauty Lounge. And we are here today to talk about owning a small business, specifically in the esthetician space. And how does that work? So, Jessica, tell us a little bit about you. How did you get into the beauty industry? Like, where did this even start?
Well, I mean, I'm a girl, so I love to pamper myself, right? I was in the medical profession for 20 years and things just started moving in a direction that wasn't what I planned on. And I decided to take a chance with going to school for something that would be rewarding and helping people, but in a different fashion with their health and with their skin, which is important too.
The largest organ, right? If I understand right, the skin.
Largest
so maybe
living organ of your body, right? So everything that touches your skin gets into your bloodstream, and that's a completely different discussion that could take hours.
Part two
of skin. So I had a girlfriend that left corporate America 3 years before I did, and she started doing skincare. And she was actually my esthetician, and she's like, "Well, quit. Go do it. She was like, I'm getting busy. Why don't you quit your job? By the time you go to school, I'll give you my overflow and we can get started." And so without her, I really wouldn't have had the success from the beginning, because really starting from scratch and obtaining clientele is really tough. And so that was a blessing, and I mean, just a blessing, period. So that's how it all started. I quit my job, cashed out on my retirement, went to school full time, and told my husband I'll make it work. And so that was in 2012.
Just a little tiny bit ago. So 2012, I mean, you've been in operation 13 years at this point, a long time. Yes. And so what was your favorite part about where you're at and this journey to get here? And what was the part that you were kind of like, I wish I had done that a different way?
So I think me having big ideas and not thinking things through a little more and just jumping head first, literally head first at times. I could have done things a little bit differently as far as planning and preparing things so that I could grow the business in a different fashion instead of just letting it grow authentically and through word of mouth. I could have gotten a lot bigger than I had.
And so I guess a part of the question becomes, where you started your conversation was that you really enjoy helping people. And so getting bigger is not necessarily the same thing. Sometimes getting bigger means management and staff and crazy schedules, and you don't get to actually help anymore.
And that's kind of where I am now. Like, I love my clients. So the part that I love the most really is the people. Like the clients that I get to see every month, the clients that I get to see, every couple of weeks, there's a bond that I have with them, and I wouldn't want to lose that. So even if I did expand, and I did take on proteges and teach them, I would do the same thing that was done for me. I would help them build their clientele, because everybody attracts like people. So you're gonna attract the same type of clients that your same personality. And I never really believed that. And I had an instructor that told me that. And they're like, you will just find your people, and your clients will have the same energy, and the ones that don't will kind of weed themselves out. And it's true. All of my clients are amazing. They have great energy. They're reliable. They don't cancel and move around. And if they do, then I know that it's like something bad is going on.
Something crazy is happening, because these aren't the normal.
The people.
Love it. Love it. Well, and I think this is one of my favorite parts about talking to entrepreneurs, right? Is that we all have the reason, right? And for some of us, it's money. For some of us, it's people. For some of us, it's get away from corporate America, right? Like I didn't like the path that the medicine was going. And so I wanted to do something totally different. And this is why it was so fascinating. Now, so you kind of talked a little bit, right? That you get, your clients are your vibe, right? So what differentiates you and your company from other estheticians that are out there?
So I'm very, number one, I don't push products. I sort of prescribe things. I create lists.
It's got to be that medical background. Go where's the prescription pad? I love it.
So just because a product is $300 and you got it from your dermatologist does not mean that it's the best product for you. And it's kind of a learning curve as far as helping them know what's really going to work for them and try to do it kindly, because nobody likes to be told that they just spent $500 on a bag full of products that's all garbage. literally. So I feel like I'm really honest and I don't really candy coat things, and I like to give everybody reasonable expectations as far as what can we really do with your skin, at your age, and people that haven't done anything with their skin and they're, in their 40s and all of a sudden they're discovering wrinkles and things that they didn't see, say 5 years ago, and now they're panicked. But it slowly over time has happened. So I give them more conservative ways to fix their skin, take care of their skin at home. And then if it's something that needs more advanced treatment than what I can provide, say laser or Botox and fillers or things, then I have a physician that I send my patients to for that. And because sometimes it really is, if you don't do things along the way and take care of your skin, then you're going to have to do something a little more extreme to get the results that you want. I don't have a magic wand. I wish I did. Because I'd be using it on myself every day.
I'll tell you what, Jessica, we get asked all the time. You're called tax goddess. Don't you have a magic wand? I'm like, oh no, honey. Like, there's a path. Oh, you're sweet. We got a few. Well, and that was going to be one of my next questions here, because you had said what really triggered me here. First of all, there's levels, right? So do it while you're young, get in ahead of time. Like if you don't want wrinkles when you're 40, start young. Okay. But if you're 40 and you're there and we need to go to something more drastic, right? You've got the network, you've got the right people, the right place to send people. Even you were talking about the garbage products that, oh yeah, I saw this great commercial on Amazon or whatever. Like, yes, talk to the expert, right? So how do you do like consultations when somebody first comes in, or like, how does it kind of work?
So I do a consultation for most of my services, period, whether it's skincare, whether it's permanent makeup, whether it's eyelash extensions. I like to meet with the person and really, figure out what the expectation is from either of us, make sure it's a good fit, and give them the idea. I don't charge them for this. That's just, come in, let's talk about it. Let me see, what do you want to accomplish? And I'll tell you, if that's possible and what we need to do to get there. And then most of the time they schedule. And I feel like that's important, because it's just 20 or 25 minutes of my own time. But when somebody can get online and go to a scheduling page and schedule appointments, number one, do they really know what appointment they need? If I've never seen them and they go and schedule something that's super extreme for their skin and they get there, I'm like, oh, there's no way we're doing that on your skin. You can't. Just because your friend got it doesn't mean that you need it. And so consultations are huge. Yeah. Consultations are your friend. For sure.
I love it. Well, and you're right. I don't think a lot of people, and I'm smiling because it's kind of like tax strategy, right? Oh, my neighbor did that, so I did that. I'm like, no, like you don't have the right set of qualifications to do that strategy. Your skin, fair redhead. Okay, you can't do drastic. I will burn. Like that doesn't work, you know. So you kind of gotta go with the person and with that customized thing.
Mm-hmm.
So really, what I'm hearing, it feels like a very concierge almost level service, because really, like some random person coming in off the street, we need to talk first. We need to make sure that we're on the same page and make sure this is good. So,
and also you want to take into account medications. What kind of medications are they on? Are they out in the sun a lot? Do they, you know, there's some products and some things you don't want to do on clients or with clients at all if they're on really strong antibiotics, or if they're on retinols or Accutane. Like I can't even touch a client for 6 months. I think it's about 6 months for specific enzymes in facial products if they're using Accutane, because their skin is so thin and so sensitive that I could damage their skin. So you have to have a really good system of screening everything and figuring out what are your clients really about.
I love it. I love it. And this is why we get along, because, you know, you've got to have a good system to know, are you really doing right by the person? Now, you know, what I'm hearing, retinol and you're throwing a lot of terms out of me that I don't necessarily know. I love it, because this is why we have experts. But how do you stay on top of the trends that are coming? You know, there is this new product, and is it good? Is it bad? How do you stay on top of all that?
So a lot of times I will just get online and start reading. Someone will send me a message and they'll say, what do you think about this product? Or they'll send a picture of the label, because that's my big thing. I tell them, send me a picture of the bottle and send me the label. And if the active ingredients are close to the middle or the bottom, don't use it. You'd have to bathe in it. So it has the active ingredients have to be in the top, like 5 or 6.
Oh, I was going to say 3, 5. Okay. So guys, if you didn't just capture that piece of gold, this is why we have an expert. If the active ingredient, let me repeat it back. If the active ingredient is not in the top 5 or 6, that's your garbage products. Like, don't even bother.
It's just a lot of fillers and emollients and things that make it feel good. And, you know, but it's basically just sitting on top of the skin. It's not absorbing. It feels fantastic and it might smell great, but it's not really doing
its job.
So research, I read a lot of white papers, because I want to know. Just because something pops up on your feed in social media, where I feel like people are really stuck sometimes, which is great. I mean, if they're reading great stuff, but I will read that and I'll research it even for the clients and just say, you know what, I'm not a big fan. It's just not, the data's not there. It's just like a supplement. If you want to take a vitamin or you want to take collagen or something, then you want to make sure that it's pure, that it's a good product, that it's being manufactured and processed properly. You don't want to buy the least expensive or the most expensive, right? You want to get the one that is the best quality. And if for some reason it is the most expensive, then, you get what you pay for with stuff like that. But just research, and I try to do some education as far as keeping up with trends, with types of facials and mechanisms, for mechanical facials, for needling the skin, and just like all different things that people want to do.
I was going to say, now, Jessica, you're gonna have to tell me, do you have slugs in your office? Because I have seen way too many YouTube videos about slugs.
I have no slugs.
Facials, and it sounds very terrifying to me. Like, I don't know.
Slugs. No slugs. I have a very low pain tolerance, so I'm very empathetic to my clients if I'm doing something that's going to be a little spicy.
I love it. Well, and so this, you talked a little bit about social media, and of course, that's where we have got all these beauty influencers and, all these people on social media. So when you do some of this education and you're reading those labels, I know you have an Instagram account, so guys, go check her out, Skin Lashes and more. Are you covering some of that education in your Instagram account, or what kinds of things can people expect to see?
One of those things, like you asked in the beginning, would I've done something differently? I would have engaged in social media quicker. There's so much presence with influencers and people buying ads and doing advertising and things. And I was so reliant on word of mouth and old school marketing, meeting people, talking to them in person, not necessarily posting on the internet. So I'm behind the curveball on that, but
audience, we have to go subscribe. Go subscribe. Let's get our upvotes here.
I'm up in my game with Instagram and social media content and educational things and reels, and so that is one of the things that I'm working with right now. Investing in myself to expand that so that I can. Just because it's in my head doesn't mean I can just tell 5 or 6 people. I need for people to be able to go to my page or go to my Instagram and follow me so that they can actually see what I'm posting, and then they can contact me if they want to have a consult, and then I can fill them in on things that are, specific to their, to their needs.
Their taste. Yeah. Well, and I think that's one of the biggest things, Jessica, why I wanted you on today, right? I have certainly heard in this space that, oh yeah, this will work. This is the silver bullet for everybody. This is the sunscreen for everybody, right? And I even just based on what we do, based on what you do, custom is good. You want to be working with somebody that actually understands who you are, as you said, what your goals are, right? One person may want to be out on the ocean surfing every day. Their skincare is going to be completely different than a poor little CPA sitting in a dark room doing tax returns, right? Like totally different skin needs. So love it. Okay. And, you hit on investing in yourself. Why? I mean, other than to do a good job, right? Which obviously you clearly care about your clients. You want to make sure that they are getting what they need. Why is it important to invest in yourself?
Well, I feel like the more you invest in yourself, the better in order to be successful, you have to invest in yourself. You have to have continued education. You have to know what's going on. You have to know what products are new, what new trends. It's the same thing as if I were in the medical field and I'd have to get a certain amount of continuing education credits in my field to keep my license. I've done that all along. It's not something that Arizona cosmetology or aesthetics, it's not a regulation to keep your license in Arizona. And I feel honestly that it should be, because
that's a little scary if you took your education 20 years ago. So yeah.
So you either get stuck in a rut and you're just sticking with what you know, and people are afraid sometimes to try something new or to reach out, and just they don't want to admit that they don't know everything, I feel. And so they just kind of get stuck in a rut and they're like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Well, it's not broke. But you do need to be able to talk to the people who are coming in that are doing their own research. And when you have somebody come to you and ask questions and you're like, oh, I don't know anything about that, then well, there goes the client. Because if your potential client knows about this service or this
more than you do,
and you don't, then you just lost them.
Well, and I'm smiling huge because I have this. I've been watching way too much of this historical Victorian drama, TV, movies, whatever, right? And I'm imagining somebody, and I know we don't have anybody that old, but I'm imagining somebody back in the day when arsenic and lead were in the skincare products. So like maybe, updated education sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. And it's the same thing. If you wanted to get a facelift, or if you know what I mean, if you wanted to do something cosmetic to your face that was more, you would go to a plastic surgeon and you would have a consult.
Yep.
And they would run blood work and they would check everything. They would want to see your medical history and what medications you're on and what you're doing. And so why wouldn't you want to do that as an esthetician, to know that it's a good fit?
Love it. Jessica, you are a wealth of knowledge, and especially in this specific industry. Like now I'm sitting here going, what is in my products? I don't know. I better call Jessica. This is like a thing now. So we like it. Oh, You know what? We should probably set up a website. Better Call Jessica, just like Better Call Saul or whatever. We need Better Call Jessica. I like it. And have people submit. What about this? What about this? What about this? Because who knows? There's so much out there these days. Jessica, if you had to leave our audience with one most important concept, what do you think it would be?
Don't wait until it's too late to take care of your skin. I mean, seriously.
Love it. So
wear a hat. I am a firm believer that it's okay to have a moderate amount of direct sunlight because your body does need the sunlight without the SPF. And I know that people smother themselves with sunblock. Yep. But it's okay for you to get 15 or 20 minutes of direct sunlight. Your body needs it. It's just you're not going to get skin cancer from being outside in the sun for 20 minutes. That is advice.
Just if you're out surfing for 12 hours, and you better be covered.
Put some zinc on and cover up and wear a hat, but you're okay with a little bit of sun.
Love it. Love it. Jessica, thank you so much for being here today. It has been such a pleasure as always. And audience, if you are looking for more education from more experts, let us know. Reach out to us, Tax Goddess Live, and we are always looking to find experts to bring in information for you guys. So in the meantime, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Jessica, for being here with us. And
thanks for
we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.